Oh yeah.
I see what's going
Are you nuts?
It's been suggested.
Come on, Caleb.
Lube or lewd?
Yes, and it's the choice of a new generation.
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
You're the only thing that matters. All right, we're live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the Countdown, episode 14, as we count down something involving movies. I'm your host, JPO Jordan Pierce Owens. Joined this week as we talk the best films of the year 2017. It's Jacob the Barber Beefcake.
Is this positive?
Sure, Orange Cassidy, I think so.
Happy to be here because I apparently don't say that enough. But I'm always happy to be here.
You don't.
I know. I'm trying to work on it because I know that we're best friends.
Best friends, man.
Took a quiz twice to prove it. Guessed on both of them, but somehow it worked. And maybe it's just meant to be.
It meant to be, as the stars have aligned. So it was. I asked you. I said I do want to do some years for the next month here as we count down to, of course, the best of 2022 in the beginning of January. I asked you to pick a year. You said 2017. It's a damn good year. There's movies in my
really
top 20 that I'm sad I won't get to talk about. Like I'll past the honorable mentions, where I think are 4, maybe 4.5 star movies. So yeah, why 2017? Does you think it's a really good year? Or?
Yeah, it's probably because I've been watching a lot more recent movies than I have older movies, and so keep that in mind when I say I think this is like one of the greatest years for movies, like period. But then again,
no, it's a good year.
So
it's a good year. So let's not wait any further. What do you got for your number 10 favorite movie of the year 2017?
My number.
And honorable mentions.
Oh, okay. I thought I was like, all right. So my honorable mentions before we get to number 10, I have Wonder Woman, The Florida Project, War for the Planet of the Apes, Big Sick, and I prepped you before we went live that there might be one. Get Out.
Yep. I'm fine words. It's crazy. A couple of those I agree with, and then there's one that.
And when you hear my number 10, you're probably going to be like, "What?" Because
let's see.
Because my number 10 is Beauty and the Beast.
What? I just had to do it, no matter what.
My number 10 is Beauty and the Beast.
This is the 2017 version, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My number 10 movie of 2017 is 1991's Beauty and the Beast. I think it's just a perfect animated movie.
I'm sure they re-released it on DVD that year or something.
they might yeah. Probably to at least when the movie came out on physical media, they probably but no, I think this is a solid remake. I think Emma Watson, while I can understand the criticism like of her singing, I thought she was really good. I thought she was really good as Belle. I thought all the cast was really good. Ewan McGregor, I think like he quietly steals the show in my opinion. Like I think he is just fantastic. I think that was a
recent ASAC question is what was the cartoon? It was
Lumiere.
I know. I'm trying to think of the actor. It was
Jerry Orbach.
Orbach, yeah, it was who? Jerry Orbach played this character first, and Ewan McGregor played him later. Name the movie.
Yeah.
You would have had a point.
I will say that this is not on the level of the animated movie. I'm not gonna go like saying like, but as far as remakes go and the Disney live actions, I think this is one of their better ones. It's like in my top. I know that's not saying much for Disney live action remakes, but no, I thought it was a really good remake. I liked what they added as far as like kind of the backstory into what happened to Belle's mom. Sure, we didn't need to know, but if you're gonna remake a movie, you don't just do a shot for shot remake. I mean, they tried that with The Lion King and see how that was received. I liked what they added. I like the songs. I like the singing. No, it's not on par with the original, but I do think it's a fairly successful retelling of the story. And Emma Watson, that's my girl. I don't think she's one of those who I don't think she's put in a bad performance in her career. Like, sure, she was a little at the beginning of Harry Potter, but since then, like, she's been really solid. So, I have Beauty and the Beast over Get Out, and we may have just ruined our best friend status, but you know what?
I know a lot of people didn't like The Circle. That's what I was trying to go.
Okay, that's fair. Everyone has one.
But I was gonna say, Brian, if you think that's too low, well, I have nowhere am I talking about that. I liked it though. I didn't mind it. So my honorable mentions, we'll have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Ingrid Goes West, War for the Planet of the Apes, I'm with you on that, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and The Disaster Artist are right outside of my top 10.
Yeah,
Just
two of those, I'm like, I want to include those, but I can't. That's just how good 2017 was.
Yeah, no, like I said, there's gonna be some great ones that we don't, like I said, even my 16 through 25, I kind of want to talk about, but my number 10 that I will go with, one of the big surprises of the year, The Big Sick. I'm gonna go for number 10, Michael Showalter's third movie. He also did The Baxter, which is a weird one that he's the lead of, as well as My Name is Doris, which I actually just watched in the background about an hour ago. I just thought this was great. Kumail Nanjiani, a little bit of it, the battle between doing what kind of his family wants versus what his heart wants, and kind of sticking with the girl maybe just because she's sick originally, and kind of more falling in love more so here. Holly Hunter and Ray Romano are great as the parents here. I don't think Kumail's had as good of a performance or the best of a character since this one. Since I've had high hopes for him, and Lovebirds is kind of okay, but he's fantastic in this. Here he has a lot of charming, a lot of good connections. I think we want to say Zoe Kazan, I want to say is her name. So great film, love it to pieces. Number 10 for me is The Big Sick. As we go to your number 9.
So you're telling me that you prefer Nanjiani in this over Stuber?
That's another one, man. Lovebirds and especially Stuber, because I also obviously love Batista. Man, I had hopes, and they're messy films that I don't love.
Yeah, some fun to be had, but one time.
Yeah, I don't hate them, but I've tried Stuber a couple times. Lovebirds, I don't think I've ever even done a second watch.
So, all right, number 9. We're gonna stick with Disney, but we're gonna go over to Pixar, and we're gonna go with Coco. Because I think this is one of Pixar's best. The whole just the setting of the movie and the animation, I think this is one of their best animated, as far as the visuals. I think this is one of Pixar's best. It's up there as far as just animation only. I think the story is really cool. People always say oh, I saw the twist villain coming from a mile away. I don't believe everyone when they say that, because I didn't know, and maybe it's because I didn't want to know. Maybe it's just because I just watched the movie and I'm like, oh, could he be the villain? Could he be the guy? I just watched the movie to have a good time, and that's what I had with this one. And if Remember Me at the end of the movie does not bring a tear to your eye, you have no emotions, and you should probably get that checked out.
Yeah. No, this is another sign of how good this year is. It's not something I'm going to talk about, but I've got no qualms. I know other people love it. I think Henry is another huge fan of it. I know people do love it a lot, so no qualms in making your number 9. My number 9 here is Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, one that I really attached to pretty quickly here. A Martin McDonough movie who had just had that Banshees of Inisherin, which I really want to see.
I want to
I
see
haven't been able to get to it. Yeah, I really want to see that. But also In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths was also 2 movies I like a lot. It's probably my favorite film of his though so far here. Great cast here. I really love Frances McDormand, kind of perfectly cast in this role here. Sam Rockwell gets to give a really great kind of varying performance here. I think he won the Oscar that year for it. And even like little segues with like the relationship between her and like Peter Dinklage here and other great actors, John Hawkes popping up. Yeah, just good, interesting story here. I know some people little turn to a little bit of the exact ending of it here. I don't mind it, but yeah, I just thought a really well done film here. Three Billboards coming in at number 9.
I'll save my thoughts on that movie.
Oh.
My number 8, I'm gonna go with a Vince Vaughn movie. I'm gonna go with Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Nice. Okay.
I love this movie. I was actually just rewatching it because I'm like, you know what, we're talking about it. It's been a while. I'm gonna turn it back on. I'm gonna give it a rewatch.
You know, I was gonna make fun of you a second ago and go, geez, you got anything a little more violent than these 2 kid movies, Jacob? And you went to a really violent movie, so you can't hold that against you now.
Yeah, and you know, up to that point, like I had only seen Vince Vaughn in comedies, and like I wasn't the biggest Vince Vaughn fan. Like I like the occasional Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson comedy. I think they're a really good duo.
Wow.
But this was not a movie that I was expecting from him. And when I heard about this, saw the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, this is something different. I'm going to check it out. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. It is a violent movie. It's kind of a slow burn. It's like it's not that like fast paced, but like the violence in this movie is like up here. Like it is at the highest level. And man, I didn't finish it before we went live, but you can best believe as soon as we're done, I'm gonna go finish it because it is a really good movie. It's not one that I hear talked about a lot, so I highly recommend it. If you don't mind ads, it is streaming on Pluto, unless you own the movie, and then you don't have to worry about that.
Yes, I do. I recommend that as well. That's a good one here. Not on my list, but it is a good one here. Very unforgiving movie here. You know, Vince Vaughn kind of reminds me to a degree of like a Matthew McConaughey, as in like go watch his like 90s movies. Like he was doing some interesting stuff, and then I feel like he just kind of like got, I don't know if it was typecasted or if it was easy money that he kind of just in the 2000s kind of did the same, you know, kind of comedic roles. Because I thought this was a return to like a really nice gritty piece. Have you ever seen Dragged Across Concrete?
Yeah,
that's another one. That's him, Mel Gibson, amongst others. Another pretty decent movie here from the same director who also did Bone Tomahawk. So
I need to watch that one. I own that one, and I will be giving it a watch.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you like I said, it's of the 3. It might even be my favorite of the 3. So that's well worth checking out. Yeah, S. Craig Zeeler is putting some interesting ass movies out there, but again, very unforgiving. Very even Dragged Across Concrete is a little very. Oh shit! Okay, but good performance as well. So good pick here. My number 8. Let's line up just a little bit. Lady Bird. God, what a great coming of age tale here. Saoirse Ronan, who has of course proven herself many times over. I love her in this role. I feel like it is the most. It kind of shows that she can do anything. She can also be like a normal like teenager outside of just like, you know, an old timey war patient, or you know what I mean. Like I'd like that it was more one of the more modern, normal takes that she's had. Laurie Metcalf from Roseanne, who knew she was great in this as well. One of the earlier Timothée Chalamet performances, and then Beanie Feldstein, another one, her best friend, and it was who went on to do Booksmart. This is kind of the first glimpse of like what kind of she can bring to the table. Yeah, I just thought tremendously well made film. Maybe the debut of Greta Gerwig, I'm not sure, but definitely one of her earlier ones here. That she would, of course, later on do Little Women remake as well. So it's a tremendously well made film. I fell for it. Lady Bird.
Yeah, no, solid choice. It's an honorable mention to the honorable mentions
Gotcha.
because it's that good of a year. Um, yeah, and Saoirse Ronan, if you haven't seen it yet, See How They Run is streaming on HBO Max. It's
Yes, true. I liked
a
it.
really good movie.
I
I
liked
really
it.
like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so
Good eclectic cast. Yeah, that is a good example too of another like it's a funnier different performance than you're normally used to, and
Mhm.
another shows another range of her.
Number 7, Baby Driver, starring Christopher Plummer.
I see what you're there. For a second, I was like, where was he in that? Oh god damn it!
No, Baby Driver, directed by Edgar Wright, and starring I can never remember his
Ansel
name.
Elgort, right?
Ansel Elgort, yes. Who yeah, it was a really solid performance. I like the use of music in this movie. It might be like one of my favorite uses of just like music and making it almost like a character in the movie. I think the action sequences are all well done, interweaved with the the romance storyline between Ansel Elgort and I see again. I'm really bad with names. I should know her name. Um, she looks
That
like
one
a
I
lily.
don't remember that one. She's even on the poster. She's not. Oh, Lily James.
Yeah, it was Lily. Okay, Lily James. I may have known that and just didn't want to look stupid. I like the relationship between them and how that builds, and how he kind of is caring for his grandpa. See, I can't remember the relationship. It's been a while.
Something like
I
that.
know it's been a while since I've seen it, so like details are fuzzy. But like mostly the action sequences and like the driving, like it's called Baby Driver and emphasis on the driver because there are some really good like driving scenes. Jamie Foxx is great. John Hamm is great, and I like. Yeah, it's just a fun action packed movie. So Baby Driver, numero 7.
I'm I'm a little mad that you have it this low because so do I. This is exactly where I have it. Baby Driver, my number 7 here. Edgar Wright, man, I'm a big fan. Of course, the Cornetto trilogy here. Now he's able to kind of start doing even different things now. Yeah, man, you said music. I still love the way it's directed and edited here. And again, just go with what a great eclectic cast here. Even people that aren't in it that much. John Berthel, even Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers for a second here. Jamie Foxx, John Hamm, who's a good bad guy too. You know what I mean? Like I kind of instantly want to love John Hamm, but he does a good job. Where at the end of it, you're kind of ready for him to get his comeuppance. So good on him. Jamie Foxx and even Christopher Plummer. You know whether you like it or not is good in this. And yeah, it's been one I've actually been meaning to rewatch because it's been a minute, but definitely dig it every time I've seen it. So yeah, I'm with you. Baby Driver number 7.
Sweet. All right, number 6. We're almost halfway there. My number 6. My number 6 is surprisingly the only MCU movie I have in my top 10 of this year, and that one is Spider-Man: Homecoming. I loved the introduction of Spider-Man in Civil War, and I like that they.
You're not a Ragnarok fan?
I am. It's an honorable mention to the honorable mentions.
Okay.
That's just how good 2017 was. I do have Spider-Man just a little higher. Well, at least like 10 spots higher. But where was I going? Oh yeah, the introduction of Spider-Man in Civil War, and I like that they just kind of built off that because we did need another origin story of Spider-Man. We kind of know how he came to be Peter Parker, and I think Tom Holland nails it as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Kind of does both of them really well. Where I think like Andrew Garfield was like a really good Spider-Man and like a Peter Parker, and Tobey Maguire was like a really good Peter Parker, and just kind of like okay, really good, decent Spider-Man. I think he like balances both like extremely well. And yeah, Michael Keaton as Vulture, like top 5 MCU villain in my opinion. I'm excited to see like if he continues in this role and like where that character goes next. Like if
Hey, did you see Morbius?
Yeah, I'm a little higher on Morbius than most too. So
I don't
yeah,
hate it. It's not going to be my bottom 10.
no, it's not. It's like middle of the pack for me as far as 2022 goes. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see where that character goes. Ned is just such a good like side. I don't want to call him a sidekick, but like he becomes the guy.
That's 100% what he is. That's not a derogatory term. He's a sidekick.
Yeah, he's the guy in the chair, and everyone needs a guy in the chair.
Looking at porn.
Zendaya, like I think, she gets better as the movies go on, but like she gives a really solid performance here too. It's kind of that, she that loner girl, but I like the arc that she builds in this series. But yeah, no, it's that Michael Keaton performance, and I understand the criticism that there may be a little too much Iron Man in this movie. But at the same time, it's like I don't mind that because he's still a senior in high school, like, or no, he's probably a junior at this point. Yeah, he's a junior because they go back to school in the next one. He's still a kid, and he's not going to be able to get like everything perfect right off the bat. Like he's a kid, and that's evident throughout the movies, but none more so than in this movie. So he kind of needs Iron Man, and I love their back and forth. I also love the back and forth between him and Happy. I think that's like that might be like one of my favorite like relationships in the MCU.
I do wish we had gotten to more of him and Aunt May. Like I wanted to see more.
Oh, Aunt May.
I want like a little spin-off show, 6 episodes of like the little time they had together. We never know.
So, Spider-Man: Homecoming, number 6. I could
Right.
talk about that movie for days.
My number 6. If you don't like this movie, it's because you haven't seen it. It's Paddington 2. That fucking bear, man. I just saw another movie like, it's that People We Hate at the Wedding with like Kristen Bell. That gets a reference from Paddington 2 as well, where he's like, there's a guy on the plane with Kristen Bell, and he's like, you haven't seen it? We're both watching it and sing. It's been obviously referenced in one of my favorite films of the year, Massive Talent with Nick Cage. So yeah, it is just both films so far. I don't think I've had higher hopes for a third movie, maybe ever, because if the third movie can nail the landing, it will legitimately be one of the best trilogies of all time. Because these first two are delightful. There is so much heart and spirit in them, man. Again, these are not movies I was ever against, but like I very much thought I'd be in the Peter Rabbit territory of like passable, cool. What else is on?
Right.
But yeah, these first two are bangers. Paddington 2 and the number 6. Of course, Hugh Grant, by the way, fantastic.
Yeah. I'll again save my thoughts on this movie.
Yeah, it might be too low.
My number 5, it's a movie that you had already mentioned. I'm going to go 3 Billboards at number 5. I think mostly just for Frances McDormand's performance, and also the story in general. Like everything you said, I will echo it. It's a wonderful movie. It was my choice for Best Picture that year of the nominees. I thought like this one could take it. I'm not mad that Shape of Water won. I think that's a really solid movie. Another honorable mention to the honorable mentions.
It's in my 25.
Yeah, it's in the 25 for me as well. But man, Frances McDormand, Sam Rockwell, and Woody Harrelson absolutely nail it. I could have gone with either Sam Rockwell or Woody Harrelson for supporting. I think they both give that strong of a performance. But I need to rewatch it. It's been a while since I watched it too. So I want to give it a rewatch. But man, powerhouse acting performances in my opinion.
No doubt. That's a good one here. Now we are in the top echelon here. My number 5 is It Chapter 1. Damn, man. I had high hopes for this because this was a movie where I was like, yeah, we could definitely remake that. As much as I love Tim Curry, it's definitely a TV movie of the 90s. So I was like, I don't think it had the juiciness to be It's told in a bigger budget universe here. Fantastic kid actors at play here. You left the theater so excited for that second part. A little bit of a diminished returns to a degree. I do like the second one, but that first one I just thought was wonderfully shot and told and perfectly casted. I thought it was a great film. So It Chapter 2. Sorry, It Chapter 1 is coming in at number 5.
Yeah, it top 3, like as far as like child ensembles go. Would you say?
I can't imagine what I would put over it off the top of my head. Yeah,
The only one off the top of my head that I'm thinking that could possibly compete with it is Stand By Me.
That's the first thing that comes to
and the
mind.
Goonies, like I think those are like the 3 that I could think of.
Even then, though, maybe just because I feel like this is like Goonies, it's just kids having fun. Like this is some good ass performances, man.
You don't think they were having fun?
I hope they were having fun, but I'm just saying, like, I think this is a better, meatier performance as far as than Goonies. You know.
All right, number 4, that darn bear. That darn bear. I have that bear at number 4.
I'm saying that Cocaine Bear movie is based on Paddington now.
That's Paddington's cousin. By the way, that trailer was insane.
It did good. It sold me.
Speaking of trailers, we got a
Banks
lot of good trailers today.
Wait, I meant to ask someone: was there like a festival today? What happened? Why today?
I think it was like a Comic-Con or something, and there was something going on in Brazil.
Okay, because like what other than a Comic-Con, one has fucking like major movies all at once, like all drop trailers. Yeah,
you got Guardians, which I'm gonna absolutely bawl my eyes out over a raccoon, and I'm not ready for it.
Raccoon, and I think it might be tier with whatever ends up with Gamora too.
Yeah, like I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for that movie, which is like still like what 6 months away. Anyway, my number 4, Paddington 2. Yeah, just a very lovable bear. And yeah, it's like you said, if the third one nails it, this is in talks for like one of the best trilogies of all time. And I never thought I would say that about this darn bear, but it's true. Paddington 2. I mean, Nick Cage endorses it, so what more do you need?
No more than I know of. My number 4, you talked about it before. It's Spider-Man: Homecoming. Again, just to echo everything that you said here, man. I thought it was a little too soon to reboot it, but if you got the right script, they didn't do the origin story again, which is the right move here. And again, another tremendous cast. You mentioned the best friend, the sidekick, Aunt May, the relationship with Happy. I think there's enough Iron Man, just enough to where you can kind of really center in on the teacher relationship, student teacher relationship kind of thing, or even father son relationship to a degree that you do capitalize on in like Endgame and other movies as well. So I enjoy everything here. Michael Keaton, who sometimes the quietest moments are the most tense. I mean, that car ride, you know what I mean? Once he realizes who he is on the prom or whatever, or homecoming makes more sense. Such a great intense moment here, and yeah, Keaton is so flipping perfect here. So yeah, it's a great flick, great start. But what's also been actually, I would say, to me, a pretty tight trilogy. Actually, I don't mind anything in these 3 here. I think there's plenty to like about the second, and I know a lot of people like me love the third. So yeah,
I actually think it gets better as the movies go on. This is of the 3. This is I would go Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. That was in reference to Paddington 2. How can he be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man if there's no neighborhood? Number 3, I'm ready to hear the backlash on this, but I don't care. I love this movie. It's The Greatest Showman. It could be like just because I love musicals, and also Hugh Jackman's like one of my 2 favorite actors. But I just really enjoy this movie. It just became one of those movies that like I go to when I just want to watch something and smile. I think the music in this movie is fantastic. Is it an accurate telling of the life of P.T. Barnum? Probably not. But I don't care. I think the music's good. I think the performances are good. I have fun with it. Number 3.
Very nice. Yeah, I don't mind it as well. Actually liked it more than I thought I would. So it's a good flick. My number 3, he said it's an honorable. I don't know, but it's my number 3. Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi really spiced energy into what is not a great trilogy in the MCU, but that third one is I think easily the best of the 4 that we've had so far here, and turned life into Thor. If you had said after the first 2 Thors that Thor would be the first one to have 4 films solo, I wouldn't believe you, because I would have figured, they would have kind of given up or moved on by then. But he spiced new life into it here. We've kind of targeted on, I think, where Chris Hemsworth kind of is the best, which is kind of, and that's kind of comedic role as well that, we've seen him apply in other movies as well, instead of just a straightforward, and you can only do so much with that. At the opening scene where he's in the chains, and he's like, hold on. And then he turns back to the monster. Great CGI here. It's colorful. I like Carl Urban's character when he goes through. Kate Blanchett's a fun villain here. So yeah, I loved it, man. It's a good, easy rewatch too. Ragnarok is my number 3.
Yeah, and it's not a bad choice. I don't know what that's in reference to. But anyway, my number 2 is Wind River with Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. I think this is Elizabeth Olsen's best performance. I like the story of Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. They're called to investigate this missing girl who turns out to be. But man, like the mystery behind it, it's one of those movies where I feel like I don't know if enough people have seen it, because I don't hear it talked about a lot. I know it's of those that I've talked to that have seen it, they hold it in like as a really good movie, because it is a really good movie. And yeah, Elizabeth Olsen absolutely delivers in this movie. It's streaming somewhere, so if you haven't seen it, highly recommend checking it out. Yeah, Wind River, Jeremy Renner, Elizabeth Olsen, outside the MCU, and probably, in my opinion, their best movie each.
No, it's a great flick as well. I do agree. Great movie there. Again, shows you the power of 2017. Not on my list, but absolutely no argument that it's a great flick. My number 2 is, this is what I say to you for having it in your honorable mentions. Get Out! Lovely debut here by Jordan Peele. I've been a fan of his for a while. I remember hearing him in interviews about his passion, and so it gave me more and more kind of like gumption and hopes for this film, and it turned out great here. It's an interesting tale here. Daniel Kaluuya, one of his first leading performances, and he's gone on to do some fantastic things here. Bradley Whitford, Catherine Keener, yeah, it's just it's a great first outing here. I think all 3 of his films have been pretty interesting. I've actually gone up on Nope a little bit more since the first watch. So yeah, I think Get Out comes in at my number 2. It's a great flick.
Yeah, it's a solid choice. I was a little bummed that I couldn't put it in the top 10, but that's again how good 2017 was. So we're going on to number 1. Just go ahead and put yours up.
Number 1.
Go ahead and put yours up. Yeah, it's Logan. I was gonna be really upset if your number 1 was something different. I'm like, oh, never mind.
I'm like, all right, Tanya, what's up?
Which isn't a bad movie.
No, it's like my number 17. That's a good movie.
But yeah, Logan, I think it was an excellent end to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, although he's coming back now, which I'm not upset about. But I think he gives easily his best performance, in my opinion. Maybe up there with Prisoners for me personally. Patrick Stewart, unbelievable. Like the fact that they delivered those kind of performances is just mind blowing because those are two like that they've been around. Yeah, but like, oh my goodness, they were so good. Daphne Keane at really good child performance in this movie. The action is really good. Stephen Merchant is good in his screen time. If you haven't watched the black and white version of this, I would recommend doing that. I really enjoy the black and white version, but man, it's Logan. From the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, like it's not just my number one of 2017, but it's high up like just as far as movies in general.
No, well, I'm with you. Obviously, I'm with you because let me change the graphic real quick. There we go. My number one is Logan as well. Big Wolverine fan. Before even the movies here, I remember as a kid saying if I could have any movie come to screen, it's the X-Men, and it's specifically Wolverine. And so Hugh Jackman had some pretty big shoes to fill as far as me and many fans are concerned. And not only did he fill them, but now I always say good luck to whoever the hell else is going to play Wolverine in the next 10, 20 years whenever they get around to rebooting it here. So I love the fact that this went R-rated, one of the first ones to do it in a dramatic way. You had Deadpool, which is a R-rated comedy, and then you got maybe argue also stuff like Blade, but like at least in a Marvel film, like it's the first time where they've gone R-rated. Some say maybe they could have done that with Dark Knight back in the day, but that actually works here. This is an adult theme here. Daphne Keane, a lot of people were hoping maybe she'd have a spin-off, which we're unfortunate to get to. Still, maybe some hope, I guess, but she's older now. But tremendous film here. This is some heartbreaking stuff between him, Stewart, who a lot of people were jogging for an Oscar nomination. The screenplay, I believe, actually did get nominated, which is pretty damn cool. That's definitely not common in any kind of Marvel DC property. You mentioned Merchant already here. Beautifully shot too. James Mangold is a really good director. He actually did the previous Logan or previous Wolverine, the Wolverine, which is pretty well shot. Definitely not nearly as good, but not great like this. So yeah, I'm with you, man. Logan coming in at number one. Well, Jacob, let's just go over one more time for the folks who's at home. What you got?
All right, so from 10 to 1, starting at 10, I got Beauty and the Beast. At number 9, Coco. Number 8, Brawl in Cell Block 99. Number 7, Baby Driver. Number 6, Spooderman Homecoming. Number 5, 3 Billboards. Number 4, Paddington 2. Number 3, The Greatest Showman. Number 2, Wind River. And number 1, Logan.
Very good list there. We'll now do mine real quick. At my number 10 was The Big Sick. Number 9, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Number 8, Lady Bird. Number 7, Baby Driver. Number 6, Paddington 2. Number 5, It. Number 4, Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 3, Thor Ragnarok. Number 2, Get Out. And number 1, Logan. Follow me on Letterboxd at Ben Affleck. And again, just even like some of the other ones. I mean, Dunkirk, Darkest Hour, Shape of Water, the Oscar nomination, Lego Batman, Detroit. We didn't even talk about John Wick 2017. Pretty decent year.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were going to yell at me for John Wick. I was like, because I know some people love that trilogy, and I do too.
It's a good year.
Absolutely here. So yes, Jacob, plugs, parting words, and what's your favorite movie of 2017? I'm
around favorite movie of 2017. I'm pretty sure that's when the Emoji Movie came out, so I'll go with that.
Wait, was Patrick Stewart literally a shit emoji and one of his best performances in the same year?
It
is 2017. It's 2017. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. One of his
what a
best
year for Pat Stew. Yeah. But yes, follow Jacob and all his endeavors. Follow me, hey, on this channel. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. Also over at the Pierce Wrestling channel. We'll do some more countdowns, some more years throughout the next month here as we count down to 2023. Oh my God, how time passes by. So yes, love what